Hi guys, welcome to Darren's Computing Corner, and today we're going to be testing out another beta of Memphis, which then became Windows 98 later on in its production cycle. But with this in mind, we are first beta in, and I've already set the BIOS date up in DOS off screen. I think it's easier for me to set it all up in DOS. But with that being said, let's get cracking and seeing what there is to explore in this beta of Windows Memphis, Windows 98. Let's click next. So it says at this point that there's only 13 minutes left for setup, which is interesting. I've only just started the procedure. Is this going to ask me for a product key? No, but I can do the following. And click next. And then I can select everything I need to. So there's your accessibility options, which gives you keyboard sound. Well, it won't give you sound without a sound card, but there we go. Display and mouse behavior. Accessories, which at this point I'll just take you through each one. So you've got your briefcase, calculator, all of these. Desktop management, desktop wallpaper, document templates. There's the games. Tour of Memphis, mouse pointers, net watcher, and you've got paint, quick view, screensaver, screen monitor, and everything else. And you've even got WordPad as well. Now, just because Windows 11 got rid of WordPad eventually doesn't mean that doesn't mean I'll be getting rid of it later on. I'll try it again. Just because Windows 11 got rid of it eventually doesn't mean that I'm not going to use it in earlier builds. That's what I was trying to say. Right, click next. Try on here. Set up the network. Well, obviously I come from the UK, so now select the wrong one. Select Belgium instead of English. I say English because, yeah, the English language was invented in this country. You can still select Windows 3.1 as your layout. I might do that in another build, just to give you an idea as to what to expect. Let's see what happens when you click cancel. No, because that cancels setup. That cancels. Well, that cancels the boot up disk, because I need that if I want to do Windows 95. Yeah, so I need that in case if I set up Windows 95 at some point. I could always get another one, mind you, but not much point in just sorting that out. This gives you USB support. It also gives you FAT32 support as well. Now set the BIOS date to the 1st of March 1997. Because anyone who knows what these videos are about will know that I always set it to the first of the month after the month it compiled. So this build was compiled on the 24th of February. I set the BIOS date to the 1st of March. And it still works up until the point where it expires. And I'll show you exactly what it does at expiry, post expiry. This still gives you the 95 boot up, which is really rather interesting. Okay. So I had a red screen of death straight away. So that didn't go too well. That suddenly stopped. I think I might have to restart the computer. At least I can see the font on there now. Let me just restart that. Showing Windows 95. Yeah, because you were being naughty and refused to cooperate. That dreaded red screen of death. At least I could pick up directly from where I was. Reason why that is completely disabled out, it's greyed out the enable sound, is based on the fact that no sound card has been detected in this virtual machine. And because I don't think it's got a proper graphics card in there either, I don't think we're going to get that many colours. 16 if I'm lucky. But am I always going to have to put up with that red screen of death? It shows Windows 95 at first. Yeah, there's the red screen of death. But it still lets you play. Okay, it won't. Windows protection error. Right, let's go into settings. I'm just going to try something quickly. Maybe if I change it to Windows 95. Just why it's giving me that Windows protection error. I'm always going to get that dreaded red screen of death. Windows protection error. Oh dear. Right, see you in a bit, guys. I've just got to try and sort something out. And welcome back. And we just, at this point, just sort of the idea of this time I'm going to try and upgrade it from Windows 95. So it's attempt number 2. And what we'll do is we're going to look at, not going to look at that, we're just going to upgrade it from Memphis. We're going to upgrade it from 95 to Memphis, I should say. in the hope that it will work. So it says 17 minutes. Of course, I accept the agreement. I didn't get this last time. I don't think I did. Yeah, well, the hell? Right, we'll try that again. That didn't work. Wasn't any point in me doing safe recovery. Wasn't really. But this time, no. $2 minutes, is that it? I've reset the clock back to midnight. I like to know how it just says 1 minute when it's going to take much longer. A file being copied is older than the file currently on your computer. Yeah, I think I ought to keep it. Keep the newer edition. Will I see any more of those? We shall find out. Yeah, there's another one. Yeah, click that. I think that's all of them. It's a developer release of Memphis we're looking at. But this time I couldn't go for this. I couldn't save the files from Windows 95 because I tried that and it ultimately caused the setup to fail. I've done that. Oh, but of course you can't select it. Lost the power drive and you're going to keep doing this, aren't you? That may explain as to why I got the red screen of death. Are you going to keep putting me through this? I hope not. Configuring Windows messaging. Hopefully this will work this time. The power drive the power drive is refusing to install. I've also noticed the buttons are coming up blue. Shows up Windows 95. Well, it's actually showing up Memphis now. But it showed up Windows 95. Says your display adapter is not configured correctly, I know. So I'm just sorting that out. That just sorts itself out. I'm just going to skip that for a moment. I've also noticed I've got, how many icons have we got? We've got 13. I've got beta guide, I've got Memphis release notes. This is going to be interesting, but at least I've got into the beta without needing safe mode. Which is good to know. But join me back in a bit as I set up some other programs to sort this out as well. But I'm going to install some programs as well just so you can get a feel of what's to come. See you in a bit, guys. And welcome back, guys. And this is attempt number 3. And what I've done this time is I have done a copy of all my files. So I've done a copy of all the retail files from eDrive, which was the CD that they were sat on, to the D drive, which was my corner files, in the hope that this will work. I've got a red screen of death. But at least it was able to skip past the whole kerfuffle of that, trying to find the hardware. But I'm hoping this time that it will work. Not everything's set up, but I think that's how I'm going to leave it. Oh, there's a good start. Explorer's crashed. Oh, no. There's a good start. Explorer's crashed. That's the most critical program that's needed for Windows to run effectively. Oh dear. Oh no. Right, I'm going to have to try again then. So let's get that red screen of death out of the way. This time I'm going to click cancel. Explorer's crashed. Oh, I don't see this going anywhere. That red screen of death is giving me a migraine. I think at this point I'm going to see what happens if I change it to Windows 98. I guess then if this happens again, I'm going to restart it into safe mode. Uh, just hoping this is going to work. Let's see what happens here. Windows protection error. Always comes back to this. See you in a bit, guys. Let me just try and sort this out. And welcome back, guys. And I just have to say that finally, after 2 painstakingly long hours, I finally managed to get this to work. I mean, that's just absolutely ridiculous. So with that being said, I'm going to go into the, the display properties. We've even got plus as well. I'm not going to do the hardware wizard because that causes a Windows protection error if I try. Screen's big enough as it. Yeah, I'm just going to personalize the background. I think. Let's see what that looks like. Clouds. 16 color. Yeah, that looks really ugly. So I'm going to try something else. Oh, I changed it. Because what I want to try and do if I can. Try and personalise this. But I think I want to do an inverse on that. Whoopsie, whoopsie, whoop. Like that. And then do the same for the 8. And let's see what that looks like. It's not showing up, and the pattern's not showing up as a desktop. That's not good. And now it's, yeah, that looks quite something. See if you can find the 98 in that. But what I will do is go into my computer and show you what each one is. So that gives you that 10 gigabytes. And then this one shows that I've used 144 megabytes. And I've got 9.89 gigabytes left. But interestingly enough, you've also got this, which is show a peek of the desktop. Which disappeared for a while and then came back in a much later system. We'll look at those in another video. Also, I've noticed that with Memphis, it shows up as Internet Explorer for this version. Anyway, of preview release. So let's have a look at Paint. I like the look. I like the look of this icon. I said Paint, and it showed up phone dialer for some strange reason. And then I'll get rid of that because I didn't want to do it. I wanted to go into Paint. And then some. Let's do this one. This is going to end up going all over the place. I mean, look at what's happened so far. This mouse is going all over the place. That looks like a heart shape on the back on its side rather than the letter O. And then I'll just swap it for this pen. I'll try it again. And then I'll just save it as is. Save it into my D drive. And then I'm going to go into WordPad. Now we've got games. I don't think we're going to risk them though because they'd be too be too choppy. We only have 6 fonts. I'm going to have to use Times New Roman. And then do specs on here. And then I'm going to change the font on that a bit. There you go, that's a bit better. Do like a checklist. And then we'll do the compile date. And the beta expiry. Like that. And then I'm going to save that into my D drive. And that takes care of that. And then I'm just going to go into here, and that's what it looks like as well. Look at that as well. I've noticed that with that, the border disappears when you minimize a window. One thing I do want to look at while I think about it. So I'm going to set the beta of this. I'm going to set the date of this beta to a 4-week warning. In this case, it would be May. The 4th. 1997. Set that back to midnight. One thing I do want to look at, yeah, of course, I put 1st of July and it's 1st of June. Hang on a moment. That'll take care of that. And I'll save that. And let's restart. This is going to take a while to sort itself out. And this is what will happen. There we go. And it says, your license for this pre-release software has expired. Please upgrade to the final product immediately. It says, this pre-release version of Memphis will expire on June the 1st, 1997. That's what I've written here. After that date, you'll no longer be able to use the software. I like looking at these warnings, because then you get to see exactly what happens after that. I'm just going to ignore all of that. And here we are, 4 weeks left of the beta. A couple of things I want to look at as well when I think about, because you can still use it at this point. Is I want to check just want to have a look at Notepad. I know it's going to be the same as it has been up until the point where Cloud was integrated into it. But with these I can then just and then I'll do the same in Windows ME as well. Yeah, you can't save it with a Control S. By the looks of things, I don't want the network neighborhood either. But I can do that though. That's Notepad sorted. It's always interesting as to what you can find here. Also noticed that's now spilt over into 2 rows, or 2 columns, should I say. Drop it in Minesweeper. Well, them 3 have got to be there. Oh, yeah. I was going to go for them 3. Well, I was actually going to go for the other 3, but never mind. Ah, I'm really bad at. I'm really bad at Minesweeper. Never mind. Not much else to do. Not much left to do on this beta, so I'm just gonna fast forward it now to another 6 months. To the 4th of November. And then you get to see what it does next. Also noticed that when my pattern changes whenever the dark bit goes over. You know what I'm trying to say. But now it says this pre-release version of Windows has expired. Contact your vendor for a new version of Microsoft Memphis. And then it says it starts in Memphis. It shuts down. I'll boot it back up. And this is what happens next. Nothing. Because what that does is that it patches the system so then it no longer boots into DOS. In other words, you are fucked. If you let this beta expire, you are absolutely fucked. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, comment, share and subscribe. Thank you for watching and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.